which which Sync Esports did win into the end, 3-1. They also played in the winter bracket finals of last cycle, so these two teams, they have had a little bit of recent history matching up. Sync winning both of them, but Willowkeeper trying to turn the page right here and change things up. Of course, as always, joined by Mini Maggot. We are really flying through the start here as far as the draft is concerned. They came ready to play, and wow, we're already in the second-tier bans, no extra time used. What's going on here?
Well, I mean, I think Zinc have sort of started to get into a trend now. They do like to play like the old sort of way with like BMG, Stay Green. They like the heavy push, the heavy team fight. They obviously instantly pick the Rhapsody, Kraken, and Ophelia, and with those heroes on the board, Zinc are going to pick them up every single time. Obviously, Tree, a little bit different in terms of their draft. It can depend on in terms of what kind of game, but with Zinc, it always sort of revolves around some kind of strong push and some kind of strong team fight, which we're seeing here as well. But for Tree, we've got Pebbles, Glaciers, and Silhouette. Silhouette, that I mean, we saw it in last game, obviously, the last series we casted in the Gold's Winners Bracket Finals, but we're starting to see its sort of potential, and we're starting to see a lot more sort of use of it here. So we'll have to see how Baltazar plays the Silhouette here. I'm wondering whether Tree are going to try and match up against a strong team fight from Zinc, or going to try and have a different sort of strategy with like late game potential, or even some kind of like heavy gank. But we'll have to see in the next couple of picks. That the bans are already going out with Valkyrie and Polywog Priest. Actually, Polywog Priest is a strong hero, particularly in the Zinc lineup. Actually, so no wonder why we see it banned here by Fusion.
Yeah. Yeah, you look at the overall bans, Kinesis, Warbeast, Valkyrie, and again, the Polywog Priest, as you're talking about. And yeah, that's one of these heroes that has actually gotten some attention recently, and more specifically on Sync. We talked about the last weekend. They actually played it several times. In fact, Flensmeister was the one that was, believe it or not, playing it. So, all right, we got some new stats coming out here. Apparently those were maybe some older ones that originally were posted. But there you go. Those are the updated ones on the heroes that we do have. Geomancer going to be the final ban from Sync. So even Geomancer is getting some love here as far as bans. I mean, Valkyrie, Polywog, Geomancer, that's not your everyday bans.
Weird bans. Yeah, definitely. But I mean, understandable ban though, like particularly as obviously Zinc going like quite heavy in terms of team fight and push. Geomancer can easily set up obviously with the whole combo and does a lot of presence in team fight. Seeing as obviously Boxy plays it very, very well as well, it's an understandable ban coming out from Flensmeister here.
Really? I mean, really? Wild Soul the final ban? That kind of came out of left field. Keeper of the Forest then picked up. What is going on here, man? Keeper, now Keeper's an interesting pick. Silhouette has the ability to get out of it with the ultimate. So I'm very intrigued at the idea of that pick. It's going to be a Suicide Keeper, though.
Yeah, but it's all, like I said before, like Zinc, they've always, like, regressed back into sort of the old BMG Zinc team fight and sort of push. And BMG, I mean, this is exactly what we used to see like 3 or 5 months ago. Keeper of the Forest, Ophelia, Kraken, Rhapsody. It was the same every single game, and that's what we're seeing here in Zinc. Clearly thinking that the strategy still works and they can still exploit it here. A good sort of counter pick actually with Master of Arms. Obviously, the Goo is going to play a big role actually in this game. So we'll have to see whether Root or Fusion plays it, because actually the sort of rotations coming out from Master of Arms to sort of predict the pushes here from Zinc will be a big factor actually. How if they can sort of stop this push actually, but a right click on an Electrician actually, that would be quite interesting to see. But
well, I personally would love seeing that pickup, and the main reason I say that is because I've always wondered, Keeper of the Forest, when he was the guy, Stay Green days, I think that's a good way to put it. We never saw Electrician, and I bring that up because Electrician, not only with the Cleansing Shock, it's very quick to be able to get somebody out of the root perhaps, but with the Staff of the Master, it becomes an AoE Cleansing Shock in a sense. It chains to 2 additional nearby targets. So ideally, if you happen to get rooted, you just pop that, you press R, and you and 2 others are cleansed of the root. Now, I'm not saying it's an obvious reason why this hero needs to be picked up all the time, but there's definitely some good logic there. So I'm very intrigued to see if we have that pickup or maybe something else. But Soul Reaper, the final pick. But you look at this lineup here from Sync, yeah, I mean,
full push, man.
Soul Reaper, Soul Reaper definitely, Soul Reaper, fucking reeks, man. Soul Reaper definitely makes sense here with this lineup. as far as the push is concerned.
A lot of push, a lot of team fight. This is exactly what I was saying before. It almost feels like Zinc have just sort of started playing this strategy because I mean it does work. It is very, very strong strategy, and it takes a good team to actually work against it. And Tree, obviously, they're kind of new to the scene. They weren't obviously too prevalent in terms of the old sort of Stay Green and BMG days. So I mean they haven't had the greatest of experience playing against this strategy. So in that respect, obviously Zinc are kind of trying to implement the strategy to see if it will take Tree off guard, but they have picked up the Master of Arms, as I stated before, a very, very strong pickup, particularly against this pushing lineup. But expect what we would want actually is if Master of Arms to get quite high level to make sure that the acid cocktail, or sorry, the goo actually is high enough level to stop this push. But yeah, for this last pick, though, I'm not too sure what it's going to be. Obviously, Bubbles is on the board. We talked about Electrician as well, but I mean, Bubbles would work obviously against the counter push as well. We'll have to see. Insania
trying to help them out. It's like, go Bubbles, guys. Come on. I mean, it would make sense here. He's saying it because it is an obvious pickup here, but they go to Devour. Now that's, yeah, that means that's nice. They're in sync over there.
It's like Stay Green already, like, Stay Sync or whatever. Like, I'm just saying,
copycats over here, yeah. No, they definitely, that was pretty to watch. But yeah, it's going to be played by Boxy too. Okay,
It's going to be a Suicide Devourer, and it does work, honestly. I mean, I've seen it be done in TMM, but I mean, obviously this is a competitive game, so we'll have to see how it works. He's not going to have a strong sort of presence in the lane, seeing as he's going to be against Ophelia, and most likely Soul Reaper in the short lane, or long lane for Devourer. And I mean, the only thing of kind of understanding of the strategy is it can work, seeing as if every single team, if every single push here comes from Zinc, if they're going as 5, grouping up, if one big hook can be landed sort of behind the tier 1, Zinc, they don't have great initiation outside maybe the Kraken portal key or maybe the Keeper of the Forest portal key, and that's going to be 20-30 minutes until they get that really. So if one big hook can be drawn back into the tier 1, that can be like sort of stop the push indirectly just with that one pick off. So in that respect, it can work, but I mean, all that just for a Suicide Devourer, is it worth it? We'll have to see, I guess.
We will indeed. Box, you're going to be playing. I mean, you speak of yellow players that aren't afraid to go crazy and go for those big plays. Boxy's definitely up there, arguably one of the best ones here on the scene right now. So perhaps that kind of makes sense as you're talking about right there with that pickup. But I also love seeing this Keeper of the Forest pick, not only for the pick because it's not. What is that? Oh. But that's the new Keeper of the Forest. The State Green Keeper of the Forest. The Keeper of the Green, I believe, is what it's called. That's, of course, one of the avatars that State Green actually had made in honor of their DreamHack victory, as happened in the past. So, Rhapsody, oh, what is going on here? And Xania's going to be picked off, it looks like. Out comes Stalagmites, and Xania falls.
Wow.
I mean, I guess she had no reason to believe that they were going to be there for, but they were. Oh, well.
That's a big kill, though. That really is a big kill because obviously now Silhouette got the first blood as well, so that's going to increase her farm a lot more as well. She's already rotated over some more region and actually the Scarab as well, so I mean, obviously it's only one pick-off, but obviously the dual mid here is obviously going to be weakened because obviously Rhapsody did die, and obviously the first blood on Silhouette. I mean, it's always a good start here for Tree, and actually they're going to run the dual lane, long lane actually, so it's not going to be a Suicide Devourer altogether actually, and it kind of makes sense. Obviously, Suicide Glacius in that sense can be quite effective against obviously the Ophelia, and at the same time it's going to put a lot of pressure onto. I thought it was going to be a Soul Reaper. It's going to actually be a solo Keeper and Suicide Soul Reaper against the Silhouette, but that'll be interesting to see matched up.
Yeah. Yeah, this is definitely some very intriguing matchups here across the board. I mean, Sync clearly knew that something was going to be up here with these lanes, and they definitely guessed it in that sense. But yeah, Soul Reaper, a long lane against a Silhouette. Not figured that would have happened, but that does set up for the idea that, we could possibly, I wonder if Willowkeeper may look to make a transition here. In fact, here we go. Glacius is already rotating towards the middle. In fact, probably will end up all the way to the top lane. And then that puts Sync kind of in an awkward situation. Soul Reaper, I assume at that point, would very possibly look to rotate bottom, then keep her top. So a lot of transitions. Oh, middle lane. Yeah, a lot of action coming out right here. Uh-oh, we got a DC apparently. Okay, apparently I think it was Casey, though, so no one really involved right here. But now Pebbles and Rhapsody are the ones that need to be careful. I believe the Minotaur already stunned. Yes, it has.
Yeah. Kraken has already used the splash as well. I think Pebbles might be okay if he instantly runs. If he starts running upwards into the top river, then he should be fine, but because I don't think Ophelia is going to be able to walk him down with the Minotaur and Ophelia. So what attacks we'll have to see.
Here we go. Pause comes out. They're talking about it, I'm sure, but here we go. The free's going to be coming out on Rhapsody. Pebbles, he wants to kill first. He's not going to get it, though. Rhapsody survives at the last second. Of course, no bloodlust kill as that happened earlier, but still the kill in favor of Sync as Pebbles gets picked up. Look at that. He buys a TP right away, and he comes right back to the middle lane. So trying to miss out on 0 experience. He obviously a little bit of gold loss there, and actually initiation now on a Master of Arms. Climb to the last second, though. Master of Arms for now is good. Is he going to be fine in the long run? It looks like, and he cuts to the trees. At least Pebbles even helping him get to the trees.
That was nice, actually.
He actually gets away. Yeah, I almost thought Master of Arms had a hatchet for a second. I was like, wait, what? No, that was Pebbles assisting his teammate. So at least he survives, and that'll be that. But Glacius has now made his way over to the top, but this is what I was talking about. So you got Soul Reaper now. Yeah, he already bought a TP, and now he's coming bottom. So the game of transitions here is what it's coming to. And now you got a Devo versus Soul Reaper bottom.
Yeah, you might even see actually Glacius rotate back down bottom as well once obviously he's seen this. Because actually on the Soul Reaper bottom lane, but Keeper is still down here. Devour might be in trouble actually.
Yeah, I think he figured Keeper would have been gone at this point, but he's not. Will it be enough for the kill? Yes, it will. Boxy gets it. Keeper is still here though, eating through the trees. Glacius coming in, and Keeper has to fall back. Now, I guess the big thing, Gizit wasn't actually porting yet, so if he had already ported, then maybe a different story, but he does actually port at the top lane, going to be fine, but still, kill on a Soul Reaper. Obviously huge for Willow Keeper right there, so that's the power of Devo as you're pointed out in the long lane.
Yeah, definitely. And now actually Soul Reaper is still going to come down bottom lane. He's only 79 GPM actually. The strategy and sort of the laning here for Tree is very innovative and it's working very, very well. Keeper has had no fun because he's been rotating, and neither has Soul Reaper. The only sort of hope here is Kraken on the Mickey on Kraken here, as well as Ophelia in the jungle, 270 GPM. But in the meantime, Silhouette 470 GPM. After that blood loss, he hasn't almost missed any creep kills. 470 GPM, that's an insane amount of farm this early on, only 3 minutes in. The big thing here for Tree is that they have to make sure they do well in the middle lane. If they start losing this middle lane, Pebbles are going to have a hard time, and that's what Zinc's opening in the game. They need to make sure that they do well here, even if that's calls for a rotation cut from Glacius, or to have a lot more vision to make sure they can't get picked off from Ophelia here. But they have to make sure they put so much focus here on the middle lane. But here comes Ophelia in middle lane already.
Slap coming in on cue right here. Catman champion in the way, but look at the defense put up by the Hellport team in the sense of they're not even going to push up to give him the opportunity for that gank attempt. So well played right there from Willowkeeper. Even without the vision necessarily, they're able to make the getaway. Going to be fine. Glacius has rotated middle. And so Glacius really playing just a pure roamer here now. The downside of that for Fusin is, of course, his experience is basically nothing at this point. He's still level 1. He assisted in the bloodlust kill, and that was it. So he is going to stack the Ancients right here, but you were stressing this the last game, in fact. It happened to be Glacius, how it's you want to get those levels as much as you can. So hopefully for their sake and for him too, he's able to at least get involved in something here, maybe at least some kind of experience in one way or another. But look at Keeper up here. Casey on the Keeper. He's actually into the jungle again. It's been a while since we've seen a Keeper, especially a suicide Keeper of the forest. But that is what we see here.
Yeah, I mean, I talked about it before, but this middle lane is so important. I can't stress this any more because, like, if Kraken has a good time, then it can almost rotate to everyone else having a good time here on Zinc. And Pebbles, they need the portal key on Pebbles here to have some kind of initiation. I mean, I feel really bad, like, if he can start rotating over and start putting pressure in the middle lane, but he's actually going bottom lane. Stun actually onto the middle lane on Rhapsody. We might be in trouble, actually.
Master was a little bit late right there, and actually Pebbles, all of a sudden he's in a little bit of trouble. He's going to be fine in the long run, it looks like, but Kraken got in the position he wasn't ready for. Now, I also wonder if he didn't realize he was going to be not enough mana for the Chuck combo. He actually gets Torrent. In comes Keeper the Forest, trying to cut him off with the minions. The Soul for the Torrent. Will it be enough? Yes, it will be enough. As the auto attack from Insania comes out and gets revenge in a sense with that kill right there. Bottom lane. Soul Reaper went down first. Boxy gets the kill. He falls as well, but Ophelia being there, so Boxy at least making the best out of a horrible situation. And most certainly does that with the kill first. So action continues at several places right there. I don't know who you could even say came out on top, because in the meantime, while that's all happening, Silhouette's just free farm in the top lane.
Yeah, she's so farmed as well, like 480 GPM, only 5 minutes in. Look at her CS as well, 41 CS, that's so far ahead compared to anyone here in the whole game actually. And if she can take this T1 tower top as well, it's going to be a big deal and give a lot of farm to sort of Pebbles, who desperately needs it. Obviously, a second death on him is a little bit of a worrying factor here for Tree. He's still only 260 GPM, so not too bad, but again, I talked about how important this middle lane was actually, and they can't allow it to slip here for Tree.
Now, this kind of lineup, we talk about this from time to time, how the Legion lineup, the Sinks lineup, it's one of those lineups that feels like if they're in a slight lead early on, they're doing what they should be doing. I mean, if they're in a big lead, then obviously things are going really good. But so ideally, they should be in the lead coming up to about the 10-minute mark or so. I mean, right now, though, they are down, so it's just a matter of when that push starts to kick in here.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and preferably they want to be ahead before they start pushing because they want to be, they want to have the golden experience advantage, so they're going to help them in terms of the team fight. Because once they start pushing, most likely Tree are going to rotate and take a team fight, and they need to be obviously higher in terms of golden experience if they want to win these team fights. They definitely have the superior team fight in that respect, but obviously the extra golden experience will make a big difference. But at the moment, like you said, they are behind, and this just goes back to obviously Tree playing quite well. Obviously, they got a few kills on the bottom, and obviously the Bloodlust helped as well, particularly for the Silhouette. But they need to Tree. They need almost like a 2,000 gold and 2,000 experience buffer, because with that kind of buffer, it's going to discourage Zinc sort of grouping up. And obviously that's where Zinc are really sort of the strongest. So if they can get a few more kills, a tower here and there, that would make a big difference for sort of Tree holding on, because they do want to take it to the late game. They've got the superior late game, obviously, with Silhouette and Pebbles, whereas Legion, they kind of die off 30, 40 minutes. But if Tree can sort of outlast them in that respect, then they should be in a good position to take this game one.
Ghost Marchers on a Silhouette, of course, on top of the live tube and Ring of the Teacher. So again, Baltazar having a fantastic time, and yes, he did get the Bloodlust kill, so even more reason why that GPM's higher. But yeah, near perfect in the creep farm as well, 49 and 19. I mean, you look at anyone else in this game right now, no one's even close to 49 creep kills. You got 34 on Kraken and 34 on Devour. Speaking of that, Devour is actually managing pretty well down here. Again, he's also working off a couple of kills here on top of the assist, so he's had a fantastic game as Foxy at 350 GPM. He happens to be the second highest in the game right now. As they say that, hopefully Cash's Curse not kicking in, but it could very likely. You see Ophelia now, he has a Wolf Commander here. Not your usual minion, but nonetheless has it. There's the top tower push in the meantime from Baltazar. But Devo, if he pushes up even a little bit further right here, in fact, that might be enough. They're going to look to go on Keeper of the Force. Not level 6 just yet, so keep that in mind right here. He's coming in for the auto attacks, though. In comes the Sorry for heal. He doesn't have ultimate, though, himself on Sorry, but the block with the minions. Will it be enough? No, it's not. Boxy's going to live. The Rot, the Decay is just too much slow. Well played right there as far as turning that on and off. And he stays alive. I mean, not having ultis on either. Oh, wow. Keeping the Force or Sorry for right there. Pretty big deal, and apparently. Apparently there was a little bit of a lag spike there.
Just a little bit.
So maybe that had something to do with it. But I don't know. It seemed like they were just playing it out.
I think so.
They just
it looked the same. I'm pretty sure it looked like they were all going in actually, but.
Huh. Well, I mean, unfortunate. Technically, it always goes back to it's just a crappy situation, but. What's done is done, so obviously we're at a point in this game where it's hard to warrant a remake. So just a matter of kind of waiting it out and hoping for the best.
I think
here.
both teams were affected, so not the biggest.
Yeah.
Factors.
Yeah. One second. I've been told that if we do have issues like this, like lag issues like this, there is actually a possibility that we could get it tweaked out to hopefully help out if need be. So. At the same time, just a simple pause could also take care of it. So, again, hopefully nothing too big here.
But yeah, I mean, going back to the Silhouette, though, she did get the tier 1 top, actually. She's now 500 GPM. This is only 7 minutes in as well. She's obviously closing in on that Nullstone. I think she actually has picked up the Perseverance there. So, obviously, she's very, very close to the Nullstone. When she gets that, I don't think she's going to be able to really get to drop, really. She's not obviously going to take any sort of harassment from the Staccato Stuns or even the Demonic Execution from Soul Reaper. So that Nullstone will be a big factor, actually. But here comes the push here from Zinc. Already started. They're going to take the tier 1 bottom, but I don't think they're going to be able to take the tier 2 because obviously Artrons is rotated over. But they might just continue to push, and they are going to do that, actually.
I was talking about how Philly had the Wolf Commander. Obviously, he lost. He was mentioned in there. Unfortunately, maybe lag helping with that. But I believe that might have also been a conscious decision. I mean, a big hook from Fox. Got to give it the force. He's trying to root. He has it. He's going to be able to get it off right here as the Ophelia's touch comes out. Now, with a follow-up enough Soul Reaper. Oh, that was very risky on his part. He's only level 5. He feels like he was thinking to himself that he's level 20, apparently. And he goes down right there. Hook is going to miss. But yeah, I don't know what Flensmeister was thinking right there. I mean, that was a case of the root came out, so he almost felt like they had to initiate. But that was silly.
Yeah, Silhouette is still pushing top as well. She's going to most likely take this tier 2 if Sync are not going to rotate, which I don't think they are. They're going to try and take the team fight, but at the same time, I think Silhouette should have a TP with her, though, because if their team fight does break out, Sync need to be, Tree needs to be ready with that Silhouette, but I think they're going to sort of sack their tier 2, which I think is probably the best thing to make sure. Power's going to most likely be dropping here as well.
Yeah, they are going to pick them off. Good positioning coming out from Sync right there. They flank Pebbles, they completely catch them off guard. And they do that. Now at the top tower, though, I mean, they did lose a tower to make this kill happen. So, yes, you're saying maybe he should have a TPS Silhouette to get involved in a fight, but he's able to push the top tower. You can almost argue that's even just better for overall for Willowkeeper.
Oh, it is. Okay, she's a Rhapsody as well.
Rhapsody ran back into it, yep. I mean, that's unfortunate because you see, well played right there. It indeed was a well-played hook. Man, Boxy, not usually he's not known as a hooking kind of player, but he's showing that he can definitely do just fine with one here.
That was actually such a big hook, though, because like he purposely missed Insania, and expected the juke to come out. And so big plays. I mean, we talk about Boxy all the time, but clearly showing he's so dominant, regardless of what hero you give him.
Knows what he's doing. So, you know, we're kind of made a scratch. At least I was definitely scratching my head at that Devo final pick, but no, shouldn't be anymore. Fusin knew what he was doing. And clearly Boxy, again, comfortable with the hero. So, Willowkeeper, 4,000 gold lead, 1,800 experience lead. And again, this goes back to, we're talking about the 10-minute mark. You'd ideally like to have a solid early lead for Sync. That's not happening. They're down, and that's important because of their makeup. This makeup surrounds the idea of we want to group up and push as much as possible earlier on. If they're going to be behind, that's not going to be good news. Now, they are going to go for it here in the middle lane. Release the Kraken, the only thing not up. I will say Soul Reaper is very low on mana too, but it doesn't matter. You see Willowkeeper, it's probably, again, a smart decision. They know they're going to lose towers here early on. They're not going to risk losing their lives just to try to save a tier 1 tower.
Yeah, they might put up more of a defense actually in the tier 2 because Devourer does have his portal key and the null stone on Silhouette is so close. If they could get those items for the next team fight, Zinc will be in actually a very bad position because look at their levels. Their levels are actually very, very low compared to actually the players here on Zinc, but Pebbles might be getting picked off now. I mean, this is only 10 minutes in, they're taking the tier 2. This is a very, very early push here.
Look at Baltazar though, man. I don't know. He's just going to keep pressure at the top. If he can actually pressure the base tower, but no, he needs to get back here because Soul Reaper got hooked in though. Soul Reaper falls off the bat, and a big pick to start things out for Willowkeeper. Sync needs to get back because Baltazar joining the party as well. They're on the run. Keeper the Force has a route if need be. Out comes the dust. They are going to spot Keeper. The poor man's portal kid of Glacius. I don't know about that. He actually gets put in a bad spot. He may fall right here, but it does force them to fight. Devour. He gets the hook in the last second. He does go down. The root comes out though, and Silhouette's still chasing. He tree grapples in. Down goes Kraken. They're not going to be able to get Keeper because he is now invis, and I don't think they have another dust on them as, so he should be fine. Oh, he has to use invis again. They know he's here, though. Just a matter of where. It looks like he's going to survive in the long run, but that was basically a near genocide. Keeper was the only one to live throughout that whole fight, forcing
exactly.
Right there.
And although obviously Zinc do have the superior team fight, they were actually quite far behind when they took that team fight. And again, this is exactly what I was talking about. I said, if Devourer can get a big hook off to start the team fight, that's exactly the reason why they picked up Devourer, and it worked just there. Keeper Force might get stunned. No, he's going to get away in the end. But yeah, perfect initiation from Boxy again. And I mean, Zinc, they're actually in a very bad position because obviously they do have the superior team fight, but being 5,000 gold and 4,500 experience down this early on as well, I mean, they should be leading by quite a bit. Seeing as they don't have the greatest late game, and as they're losing quite heavily here in the early game, Tree, they're doing fantastic.
Yeah, they got to be feeling very, very good about where they're at here. Again, this is a straight up best of the 3 here on the winter bracket finals, and a Willowkeeper trying to set themselves up with a early start here in the series with the Game 1 victory. Now, again, it is still early on, 12 minutes in. Look at Boxy, though. He's invis up here now. Soul Reaper also invis. He's going to open on Keeper the Forest. He actually has the point, though. But, yeah, middle lane. Kraken is going to be picked off right there. Silhouette. Oh, he didn't. I thought that was an illusion, actually, for a second. No, he still has his ultimate. Hasn't used it yet. He's being chased down. Demonic Execution will get the kill problem.
No stone.
Derp. Soul Reaper trying to chase for the heal. Not going to happen, though. So, good thing I'm not playing the Soul Reaper because I would have just wasted an ultimate right there. That's why I cast, though. But yeah, Baltazar gets away. He is going to be fine. But yeah, while that was happening, the middle lane Kraken got picked off. So I mean, Sync's desperate though. They need to get something.
Oh yeah,
here.
They're in such a bad position actually, because okay, I mean they're grouping up and this is fine. They are getting towers, but at the same time, They're getting no experience. Repsy is only level 6. They're still level 7. But top lane, this could be a big deal actually if they can get these 2 kills here.
Yeah, again, they're desperate. They're going to be diving. Now, the Master of Farms is in a horrible spot, but he's now below the root. It doesn't even hit anybody right there. So, again, the clear situation. They know they're in panic mode, basically, of trying to just get anything to happen. And misplays coming out as a result. Vorchalor trying to slow them down. Pebbles coming in, but here comes Silhouette now as well. Keeper the Force going to stand his ground. They know the root is on cooldown. Now Pebbles, the big burst damage. Demonic Execution helping with that. So he is down off the bat. Another TP coming in. No, Diva's going to cancel it actually. But he is running in from the side. Release the Kraken coming out. But the hook on a Kraken. As soon as he hits that, Ophelia's touch is used to help keep him alive. Silhouette still on the run. She's going to true grapple away. She is fairly lower on life. So she's just trying to play survival at this moment while the chase continues. Devo in the background. He has another portal key right here. He actually, okay, thought about hooking, not going to happen. He portal keys away, and that'll be that. So, unfortunately, another pause coming out here. But will they actually dive him again? I think they're shaping up to maybe do that.
They should, though. I mean, like, portal keys down for 10 seconds. And I don't know if they can actually stop him. Or, you know, I don't think Boxy will have enough time to actually portal key again. A little bit questionable. So, he could have got out, but he tried to, you know, be sort of almost fancy and try and sort of tiptoeing around the Zinc. But at the moment, the Zinc are just sort of grouping as 5 and just hoping for the best at the moment. They're still 5,000, 6,000 gold down. And they're most likely going to take this tier 1 tower. But, I mean, outside, when it gets to like 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, I mean, what do they really have in terms of real threat? Soul Reaper probably the biggest carry, but he's only 250 GPM compared to a 540 GPM Silhouette. I mean, so far, I mean, Tree have played this absolutely fantastic. I think their draft was perfect, their laning situation as well, and it really did put Zinc off guard. You know, Zinc, I said they've been sort of going back to this sort of all-in team fight and push, and it, you know, has been working so far. So they won the last 2 series or last 2 cycles, sorry. But Tree almost feels like they've almost cracked the code, and I mean, I'm not trying to go too far ahead of myself, but at the moment they're in a very, very good position right now. Yeah,
again, definitely, this is still game number 1, but I do agree with you. That goes back to, you know, Sync trying to get or maybe getting a little too comfortable with this style of lineup, and clearly not working nearly as effective as they hoped for, at least earlier on here. Now, again, this pause coming out, so as soon as we come out of this pause, though, the question is, I'm sure they're having plenty of time to talk about it. Will they actually commit to a dive right here, or will they not? You mentioned the portal key is going to be on cooldown now for another 10 seconds here at least, so it's a matter of do they feel that that is enough. Now they don't really have ultimate, so I think that might be the biggest thing as far as, all right, you know what, let's just fall back and play the safe, but who knows what they're going to do. I mean, they got a lot of minions to work with from Keeper of the Force and Ophelia, so, and of course those are good at taking damage off the heroes as far as aggroing the towers and even blocking. But yeah, Sorry Priest got the Steam Boots, the Ring of the Teacher. Look at Master of Arms, though, actually. The secondary support over here, Rudipsy, he also has Steam Boots and a power supply as well. So it kind of shows you where Farms been able to had this year. At 250 gold per minute for Master of Arms. Again, very good coming out for him. So yeah, we'll keep the one to pause here. So as soon as they give the go-ahead, we will be good to go here. So again, this is the second series up today. Of course, the earlier series, in case you missed it, Bad Monkey Gaming defeating The Last of Us 2-0. As far as that series is concerned. So they move on. Last of Us finishes 4th place, and the loser of this will play BMG tomorrow in the Losers Bracket Finals. With that said. But here we go. They're not going to tower dive. They're just going to get the tower killed. And yeah, that will definitely happen. So at least something there once again for Sync Esports. They will take it. With the way this has been going. God, look at that creep efficiency. Not usually that low, but...
Yeah, like I said, Zinc, they've just been grouping up as 5, so they haven't had the opportunity to sort of get last hits on creeps. Like, as Lapt has very, very low GPM, Keizu, and so does Flensmeister. The only one who's not too bad is obviously Mickey, but obviously you can't really carry with Kraken, seeing as he's going against like Pebbles and Silhouette. And Silhouette is still increasing his farm sort of second by second, actually, 530 GPM right now. Closing on that portal key. If you can get a portal key, that would be a big deal, actually, because they're going to have another form of initiation outside of the hook from Devour, actually. And Pebbles is a little bit away from his portal key, but they're going to do Ancients now. And getting a portal key on Pebbles will be a massive deal, actually. Trying to have that kind of burst initiation, even on like maybe Rhapsody or Ophelia, would be a big thing in the next team fight. But Zinc are going to do their own Ancients, actually, as well, which will give you a nice little breather here for Tree, which I think is pretty most beneficial to them. But Mickey did pick up his portal key. Astrolabe closing in on Ophelia, so I mean it does benefit both teams in that respect.
Yeah.
I guess.
Well, yeah, again, I think Sync's at that place of, okay, we can't just keep throwing ourselves against the wall here. We need to get these really the first tier of items. I mean, they don't even technically have that. You mentioned the Astrolabe on Ophelia, that'll kind of be that. Soul Reaper, I'm not sure what Soul Reaper's honestly going to plan to go for here. Maybe something like a tablet would be a good early pickup. Maybe even a Gnome's Wisdom, actually, would make sense. He's heading back to base right now. He has the Ring of the Teacher, so I wouldn't be surprised to see a Gnome's Wisdom here. Coming out from him to just assist with that overall push idea and get those next tier of items and then just, try for it. Not guaranteed by any means, but their options are obviously pretty limited right here. He actually picks up a Grave Lock in his death for the time being, so getting more of those early items. But yeah, Portal Key onto Kraken, obviously another big pickup for them to have, gives them that initiation presence. Now, as I say, that Devour is also off to the side here. Looking once again for that opportunity. You got Silhouette pushing pot him. She doesn't have her ultimate up, but she does have a TP, so of course could come in if need be. Here we go with the push, though. Secondary tower in the middle. Baltasar, is he going to be even interested in defending? It doesn't look like it. I guess they're pretty content on saying, you know what, you can have our outer towers overall at this point. As long as we got our base, that's what really matters.
Yeah, I mean, that's not too bad, honestly, strategy, because like, if Zinc win that team fight, then that's exactly what they need to get back into the game. But and at the meantime, see, Silhouette does take the tier 2 bottom, so Zinc all group up as 5, and then they kind of got the same as what a solo Silhouette just did there. And Balthazar's going to keep on going. He's going to try and pressure him back to their base, actually, and why not? Tree should try and start pushing mid there, try and get their tier 1 mid while Zinc get top. Obviously, they've got to defend their racks and their high ground, but in the meantime, just try and get as much as you can before you have to defend your racks.
Look at this, yeah, Silhouette down here. She has her ultimate, not even using it just yet, putting the pressure onto the tower. And you got Sync already kind of defending Kraken. In fact, here is going to be enough to at least scare off Silhouette for the time being. But now the middle tower push happening for Sync. Devour kind of leading the way with that. You got Pebbles here. That's that Portal Key, of course, and that's going to be a tower kill for them. So sure, outer tower's going down more so in favor of Sync, but a couple more go down in favor of Willowkeeper. And the fact that they're actually matched now, they have 5 tower kills compared to Sync also having 5 tower kills. I mean, that says something.
Big deal.
If anything, yeah, especially with the lineup that Sync drafted.
Silhouette mid-lane.
Yeah, down here, Silhouette going in, getting caught though, and down goes Silhouette. All right, she couldn't port in time. She had the illusion out, but she got caught in the stun. And she couldn't use it, so she does have a buyback, but it's opportunities like that that Sync needs to capitalize on.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand what, battles I was trying to do there, but at the same time, it's a risky play. They were very, very far ahead. And now Zinc are going to look to try and take Conga, and one little misplay or one little misstep can cause a massive snowball here that Zinc are going to try and actually capitalize on. I don't know if actually Tree should try and fight this because, okay, yeah, Token's going to be bad, but at the same time they are, higher in terms of golden experience. But they are going to come over, going to try and at least try and delay it, if not try and fight here.
Yeah.
Hook, Devour.
Oh, look at Pebbles. He's playing balls here. He has the invis going to go in right there. Hook from Devour, obviously missing everything pretty much. So Master of Arms kind of getting caught up here. Going to be fine though in the long run, I would assume. Maybe not. Kraken charges in. With the portal key, and down goes Master, so they do get a pick off. Look at Master, man. He even has a quick plate here. It's a secondary support Master of Arms, but he's picked off, down for 30 seconds. Again, though, I don't know if Sync's going to be able to really fully commit here to a Conquer kill. He's still above half-life. They do have a double damage route on Kraken as I say that, so that could actually be a difference maker. As they do go back into the Conquer pit, but it is risky, but hey, they're in a spot where they definitely need to possibly take a risk, so why not be here? Now they are going to fall back as looking to try to maybe get a pick, but Devour's already fallen back himself, so nothing is going to really happen with that. Soul Reaper in the front lines, but there are Rev Wards down, so even though he's in Fizz, you got to be careful. The hook lands! Boxy, are you kidding me? Will the follow-up happen? Yes, it will. Devour goes in, Kraken with the charge to cancel it immediately. Pebbles now trying to do what he can. Rue comes out as well. Silhouette's caught in it. She does port out, though, with her illusion. That is a fake one in there. Glacius, he is dropping. There was a buyback, by the way, on both Devo and Pebbles. And they know this is a huge chance to maybe even secure this game with a big one fight right here. Devo goes in, but he portal could in a death, actually. He goes in a horrible spot. The protected Melody will help to save the day of his teammates. Going to be stopped there by the flash on a Master of Arms. Pebbles gets caught, though. So the buyback's in an instant death again. And some way, somehow, Sync comes up big time on top. They're a double tap for Keizu. I don't even know. I mean,
man, the team fight for Zinc is just too strong. They were 7,000 gold, 7,000 experience up. after one death from Silhouette, one death after Master Arms, and then a bad team fight. I mean, they could even lose racks here. The Vara and Pebbles don't have a buyback. And, I mean, this is what I mean, Zinc. Oh, actually, Silhouette might get picked up here as well.
Yeah, she got charged. She just used her tree grapple. She doesn't have her ultimate. Gonna be fine, though, in the end. Millstone proccing right there, but going back to the wall to regen. But, yeah, this is gonna be at least a tower kill. That's probably, I don't know, they might actually stick around, honestly. It wouldn't surprise me. No, they're going to fall back because these stalagmites just out of range. Yeah, that was perfect timing because to stay a little bit longer than that initiation was definitely going to happen. So, Sync falls back, and yeah, talk about that, man. I mean, what was a 7,000 gold lead?
7,000 gold.
It's all of a sudden a slight lead for Sync Esports.
Insane. I mean, and that's what can happen, though, particularly in the lineups they're going against. Like, they were in such a good position. Like, they had the late game, they even had the superior golden experience lead, and just a few, almost, it showed a little bit of inexperience coming from Tree. They got picked up from Silhouette, picked up from Master Arms, took a bad team fight. I mean, they were almost 7v5 at one point, but they are going to try and take Kongo here. This would be big, actually. I don't think Zinc can even, or I don't think they even know, let alone actually mobilize to try and stop this Kongo. Kongo was already a little bit low from the initial attempt from Zinc, actually, so this would be big, actually, if Silhouette could grab it.
Yeah, very smart decision by Willowkeeper. I like just the heads up, we'll just go, go, go. They didn't really waste any time there as soon as Sync had fallen back. They went right into the Congo pit. They make it happen. So despite everything being so big right there for Sync Esports throughout that fight, I mean, Silhouette getting the token of life, that's definitely still a staller in a sense. I mean, Willowkeeper feeling pretty good with that, I'm sure, but obviously not ultimately very good because of what happened earlier. Now, you look at Balchazar. He's pretty good on Silhouette, pretty good on a lot of heroes, frankly, every hero he plays it feels like, but Silhouette especially, 3-0, 626 GPM average. So this is one of those heroes, again, seems like maybe even getting more and more steam amongst the scene as far as a go-to carry hero, despite our changes even happening a while back now. So, but you got a Shrunken Head picked up on Kraken, a Barrier Idol coming out on Keeper the Force, always a very good item to have in team pushes. Now, I will say, there's a lot of physical presence, so, it's only going to mitigate a couple of things, but still, the mitigation nonetheless, great for the pushing into the base, especially with all those minions. Abyssal Skull, speaking of the physical on Ophelia, they also do have a Gnome's Wisdom, though, at the same time, so, but again, having that shield is pretty good. The Diva Hook going to miss right there to start things off, and there's that barrier. I mean, just look at this. It's just so much coming at you in your face. It's hard to find the jump. They deny the racks, but like that matters. And there we go. The range and maybe the racks are going to be stopped, and Tree just couldn't stop it. Even with the token Silhouette, they didn't want to jump.
They just don't have the damage to cut through. Like, Silhouette has got like Nullstone, Portal Key, that's like nice and all, but they don't have enough damage to already cut through the amount of armor and sort of heals that Zinc have. I mean, you saw the last team fight that it was actually 7 members of Tree, because obviously Pebbles and Devara both fought back, and it just didn't matter. Like, Zinc could easily face them. Like, the Rhapsody, Ophelia, like, almost every single hero there synergized so well on Zinc, and it goes back, maybe Rhapsody shouldn't have maybe been on the board, perhaps, but at the same time, then there would have been other heroes they would have had to deal with, but it still goes back to, they definitely had this game, 7,000 gold lead, and sort of throw it in that respect is definitely questionable, but it's definitely not over yet. They are 1 racks down, but they cannot lose a second one.
Oh yeah, no, it's bound to happen against a makeup like this, so definitely not over. Catman Champion going to be hooked right there, not a big deal, of course. That's it's hard for Diva, man. There's just so many things that he can hook, so he's having a difficult time getting the heroes. It's well played by Sync at the same time. There goes the tower. Silhouette jumping in, putting out some good damage. She has Illusion of Portrait, which she does, so that is a fake one in there. Shrunken Heads are used. So again, the tower's dead. But Shrunken Head to use on a Kraken needs to be a little bit careful. Ophelia's touch still good to go. Pretty much everything is still good to go on the Legion side. Now Divio goes in. That was a risky situation right there. He goes in and stopped immediately. And down goes Devour. Protect the Melody. Going to be a good duration. It is stopped by Pebbles in the background. Silhouette, she is still alive. Remember, she even has the token. She's not going to chase, though. Unlike Pebbles, who got caught in a bad spot. Diva Hook and misses. I think he's going for Pebbles. But he does catch Kraken. Kraken's actually made drop right here. So close. No, the heal and the support just too much in the end. So they got the tower, they get a couple hero kills, and Sync will start to fall back. I mean, Boxy's out of buybacks here as far as looking at that. So that's another big news for Sync Esports. Man, it's just crazy how this is just completely swapped in Sync's favor just because of that fight around the Congo pit area.
Yeah, man, it goes back to, honestly, the initial sort of death on Silhouette and then the catch on Master Arm sort of just, like I said, snowballed. And Zinc really did capitalise on it. They took the racks after that. And, I mean, the team play for Zinc, like, the heroes... You feel so bad for Tree, though, because they were so far ahead, and now at this point, they feel so almost helpless sort of to do anything, really. Like, the team fire and the sort of heals and the sort of the armor from Zinc is just too strong to really cut through. They have obviously still got the racks top lane, but the next team fight, they might not. So, again, it feels... There's so much that they could have done, but they just haven't in the end. And Zinc too strong to sort of face now.
Once this train is in full motion, it's like good luck stopping it. It's basically what it comes down to. And, you know, it was a very, very slow start. The tracks were a little bumpy early on for Sync, but clearly the track smoothed out, and all of a sudden it's just a bullet train here going in favor of Sync Esports. The regen that they have, the armor buffs that you talk about for Keeper, that's level 4 now. He's just passing around 10 armor to everyone. You have obviously Ophelia's Touch, the Astrolabe, the Barrier Idol, the Gnome's Wisdom, the Abyssal Skull, the heals from Soul Reaper being spammed out, Rhapsody Discomfort. I mean, this makeup here on the Legion side is just ridiculous. The only hero that kind of is just like, doesn't really assist in that, it's kind of the Kraken. But at the same time, you know, he provides the initiation, he provides great team fighting. You know, we talked about Kraken now, and Sync was the one, I think it was Casey again, who said Kraken's Arc could be the best hero on the scene right now. So, yeah, it's definitely came to fruition, and this is going to deem a lot right here. What's going to happen? If Sync wins this fight, this game's arguably over. If they don't, though, if Tree's able to hold it off, maybe there's still hope for them. Silhouette doing what she can, throwing out the Tree grapple, trying to just slow them down as much as possible. Devo hook on a Kraken. He got the Shrunken Head off, though, just before, and now Devo's going to be on the run. Silhouette in the back, putting on auto attack. She has to use the Shrunken Head, though, as the root comes out. Glacier's going to fall. Glacier downpour doing nothing. Protected Melody. Good duration, helping to save at least a couple of auto attacks right there. I mean,
what can Tree do?
Like, I can't do anything.
Exactly, they can't cut through. There's too much tank. There's too much heals. Like Tree, there's nothing they can do to really cut through this Sync, and it's such a shame because like it was such a tiny mistake as well. Like maybe one death on Silhouette and Martial Arms for that to be. The game just seems absurd, honestly. But I mean, obviously, GG well played to Zinc capitalise on that, but I mean, just look at that draft though, it almost feels unbeatable.
It does, and again, once it started just coming together, it was one thing earlier on, but yeah, once they got those key items, and you know, Chad brought this up as well, and it made me think back too. Remember, Silhouette got picked off in that middle lane when Tree was in that lead, and that happened before the big fight happened at the Conqueror pit, and that's kind of what led Sync to then, you know, going to the Conqueror and starting that whole situation there. So, you know, Baltazar's greed a little bit right there. Arguably set the train in high motion even for Sync Esports. And before you know it, it's just too little too late. But that was, we've seen push lineups before. We've seen, you know, this is Stay Green-esque as we're talking about. But, I mean,